There are tons of women who live in New York City that are making TikToks claiming that a random assailant is going around punching them in the face and running off into the distance. And they're in very, very close quarters. This is like a 2 square mile radius that all of these women are saying they're just randomly getting sucker punched. And as Brett taught me yesterday, this is the knockout game.
Yeah, I had to explain to Mary what the knockout game was, you know. So if you don't know, I'll explain it to you via Wikipedia if this is new to you. So the knockout game is one of the names given in the United States for assaults in which a person, with others acting as an accomplice or lookouts, attempts to make an unsuspecting person lose consciousness with a single sucker punch. The assaults have similarities to the happy slapping trend seen in Europe, in which camera phones are used to record assaults. Other names given to these type of assaults are knockout, knockout king, point 'em out, knock 'em out, and polar bearing, which is of course the racist one where you do it against white people.
Got it.
Polar bear hunting.
All of the women happen to be white anyway. So
coincidence?
Coincidence? I think not.
Who knows?
Yeah, this person tweeted with a bunch of examples saying there are a bunch of women getting punched in the face in NYC all over TikTok. I don't know if it's all the same guy. Some of the stories seem slightly different, but some of them seem similar. So it could be a gang operating, like
maybe they just didn't like Bethenny Frankel and they looked for a bunch of women and like maybe what it was, what if they all looked like Bethenny Frankel and they just kept hitting women that looked like Bethenny Frankel until they found her.
Guys, Bethenny Frankel is one of the Real Housewives, and she claims that this also happened to her. She commented on one of the girls' videos and said, "This is insane because this happened to me a few months ago, but I was embarrassed to say. I was on the UWS Insane. I was taking video of a bakery." So he just saw that she was filming something on the street and was like, "You're going down, bitch."
A bakery? Jesus Christ, no.
Poor Bethenny, right?
Yeah.
But,
I mean, yeah. I don't know.
I guess she didn't take the opportunity to use it for clout.
A lot of people aren't going to have a lot of sympathy.
Let's look at the videos.
Yeah, let's look at the videos. We got a bunch of them here.
I want to see what they say.
You guys,
let me see if I can make it.
I was literally just walking, and a man came up and punched me in the face. Oh my god, it hurts so bad. I can't even talk. Literally, I fell to the ground.
I'm sorry.
He's like, it's forming, and I'm like,
I'm sorry. The way she's talking is funny because, you know.
Oh my god. Yeah.
You guys.
I was literally like leaving class. I turned the corner and I was looking down and I was looking at my phone and like texting, and then out of nowhere, this man just came up and hit me in the face. I'm like actually in shock right now.
Okay.
I literally just got punched by some man on the sidewalk. He goes, sorry, and then punches me in the head. Holy fuck.
He said sorry first, though, so it's okay, right?
Well, he did it ahead of time.
So last week I was assaulted in New York City, as you can kind of see here with my black eye. If you know me, you know that this isn't really something I would typically publicly talk about, but I just feel like this is something that women need to be more aware of. I was on my way to work and it was probably 10 a.m. and as I was crossing the street, a man looked at me and within a split second pointed 2 fingers at me in a gun symbol and then slammed a plastic bag full of God knows what down on my face from about a foot away, and I fell into the ground. I'm assuming the man just walked or ran off. I wasn't really in a state to know what was going on. The bag was so heavy that it felt like bottles or cans, but I didn't ever look to see what was in it. I'm so grateful that there was so.
Okay, I got one more here.
Here I
Oh, that was the first girl.
But yeah, I am going to the hospital. I feel like I'm probably, oh my god, it looks like I have a fucking devil horn.
It does.
Honestly, that's kind of fitting. Anyway, yeah, I was just walking on the sidewalk and my head was down. I was like looking at my phone, just sending an email, but there was so much room on the sidewalk and like literally nobody was around. And I guess this man, I don't know if he punched me or if he elbowed me. I literally passed out. So I don't really remember, but I think he just was really mad that my head was down. He was walking a dog. So he took it upon himself to body check me and let me know to be conscious of my surroundings, which now I fucking will be. And then I fell to the ground and I like literally blacked out for a second, but then I got up and he was screaming at me. And I was just like scared. So I literally just ran away. And then I was like, wait, am I crazy? Like, what the fuck just happened? And then I was like, oh, okay, cool. But yeah, I'm going to just urgent care. Okay.
She did it. So what she's saying is like he was just trying to help her. He just wanted to make her more aware of her surroundings.
Ma'am, you need to be conscious of your
I
surroundings.
have a dog. What if you ran into my dog?
Who wants to guess if it was a pit bull?
So we were talking about this before. Moranis, is it Rick
Moranis? Yep.
This had happened to him a couple of years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
He is like right after. So Rick Moranis had been retired from acting for decades, and then he finally gets started being seen in the public eye again. And then like a week later, he just gets decked.
Then he just disappeared again.
And then disappeared again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't blame him.
Yeah.
Look, all of these tweets are saying that, someone should step in, someone should help these women, and then
Tell that to
in
Daniel
response, of course, they're posting the picture of Daniel Penny. The discourse is just so predictable. I'm not interested anymore.
I mean, obviously the game's fucked up, right? But with that said, it's not going to hurt for people not to stare at your phones when you're walking. I mean, New Yorkers have a type of walking past one another and not acknowledging anybody. Like, they're in the zone anyways. Cell phones added to it. It's kind of like people walk out into a bus on their fucking around with their cell phone with earbuds in. It's like maybe like you're not going to get hit that hard if you see if you're aware of it. Your body will brace a little bit, right? Like, or maybe you'll dodge it. Who the hell knows? But like, it's a stupid game. Look, it's funny. I'm not saying it's funny, but let's just say it's.
The way that she was talking in the first video, it just made me laugh because she was like, "You guys, I just got punched in the face." Like, all women in New York City talk like that.
There are all sorts of videos where like somebody's like on their phone and they like walk off of like a
sewer grate.
Or they walk off like a pier into like the water.
Yeah.
We got a $20 from Aaron P. He said, "How did Mary and Brett start this podcast together? Like, how did you guys meet? Are you two step siblings or something?"
Well, what happened was I was kidnapped.
She didn't get stuck in the dryer, did she?
I got kidnapped. I got kidnapped and I got just dropped into the studio one day. And then Mary got kidnapped and dropped into the studio.
Tim knocked you out.
Yes, and then he knocked me out in the streets of New York City, and he kidnapped me, and he brought me up here, and he said, "Make a podcast."
He was going around in a van with this big net, and he netted you and took you into the van and brought you here.
That's exactly what happened. No, what happened was, so this podcast got, assuming this is a serious question and they're not actually asking if we're step siblings or not. I started the podcast in like November of 2021. The site was created. We didn't do our first episode until December of that year. So it was almost 2022, and then did some episodes with somebody else, with Miracle, who used to work here, and other guests from around the company would come in. It wasn't on YouTube at that time, except for segments. And Mary came in April
so 2022.
So almost 2 years now. And then we went live in May. In May. And we've been doing that ever since. And it was just, it's evolved since then, but it just kind of happened.
Yeah, we've reacted to old episodes. I think on episode 500 we did that. So.
Well, I will never do that again.
You guys should go watch that after the stream is over.
So yes. But yeah, as far as this stuff, Bethenny, having it happen to Bethenny Frankel, I just wonder if somebody who just really doesn't like Bethenny Frankel is like, look, all these women are getting punched in the face. Now I've got an excuse.
Everyone is really mad at Tim right now. Someone named Timothy Poole. He tweeted, "I think it's funny that women in NYC are getting punched in the face." This has 7.5 million views. And everyone's just really mad at Tim right now. Probably not realizing that he meant this in jest.
Yes.
Or he didn't. I don't know. I didn't ask him. Maybe we should ask him.
I've never punched a woman on the street in his presence, so I don't know what his reaction would be.
If the women didn't make a funny video about it, like, you know what I mean? Like,
then no one would be laughing.
No one would be laughing. I mean,
the video is what's funny. I don't obviously it's not funny that they got assaulted. Another person tweeted about this saying, "Women are speculating on TikTok that the punching attacks in NYC are part of a coordinated action by incels."
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And then she replied, "Anyone got any intel from 4chan?
Anybody got intel on the incels?"
Intel on the incels.
I'm on incel duty. I'm on intel duty, guys.
Yeah, I don't think so. I'm highly doubting.
No, but
that.
here's the thing. This is exactly what Hollywood would do, right? So the show Blue Bloods actually did an episode on the knockout game in the early seasons of the show, but they have because this is back in like 2010, so you were still allowed to talk about these things.
Yeah.
And they actually have a discourse where they go back and forth on whether this is a hate crime or not. And they're like, there's no mention of race. He goes, well, if it walks like a duck and it talks like a duck, maybe it's a duck, right? But nowadays, if they did this, it would be kind of like in the Batman where they made the Riddler like the leader of like a group of incels.
He had 500 followers on a forum.
This is exactly what would happen if they did a television show now where they did an episode on the knockout game. It would be a bunch of guys who are mad at women. So I'm just going to go, they're like, I watched that Sex in the City reboot and I just had to go knock a bunch of bitches out on the street.
Look, this isn't incels. It's not incels. It's the fact that New York City obviously lets criminals out without bail. And there are tons of schizophrenic homeless people walking around the city just wreaking havoc on society.
Maybe it's the weather.
And yes, it's ironic that the women voted for the policies. Nya, nya, nya. Like, whatever.
There is something to be said. They're all hit in the front of the face, right?
Yeah.
But none of them can describe the person that hit them.
Yeah, they all go out of their way to not
I'm just
describe
saying they probably should look up from their phone
I
more.
mean, to be
I
fair,
think
like,
the whole world could
most
look up
people,
from their phone more.
Do you think they're lying?
No, I don't.
think they're
I
lying?
think they literally were walking and looking at their phone and like they can't even identify the person.
I think if they had a description and the assailant was black, they definitely wouldn't say something.
Correct.
Or they wouldn't mention that.
Correct.
Obviously. But most people, like, in situations like that, they just have zero recall anyway because of the adrenaline.
And no situational awareness anyways
Yeah.
because you're walking around sitting on your phone.
Right.
Yeah, I wonder if it's just maybe New York City just pisses people off because does the knockout game have? There's a ton of homeless people in LA. Like, do the homeless people?
I'm sure similar things happen in
you
LA.
just have to do like the skip game where you just don't step on the crack needle. Right?
In LA, there's more space.
Yeah.
You know, like, people aren't as cramped together and anxiety is lower probably because they have weed and, you know.
And the weather's nicer.
And the weather is nicer. They get to get, like, free needles and stuff and hang out in Starbucks bathrooms.
Yeah.
I think John Durham says Brett watches a lot of Boomer TV for a millennial. I didn't watch Sex in the City. I was just making a point there.
You were talking about Blue Bloods.
Oh, yes. I do watch a lot of Boomer TV
Yeah.
for a millennial. I do so proudly.
Yeah.
I refuse to apologize for that.
I don't know. Is it funny? Is it funny that they're getting punched in the face?
I wouldn't go that far.
Would you call it funny?
I think that it's one of these things where because of the age of the internet, it's like you said earlier, it's the reaction videos that has drawn the attention of it. If these were just Twitter posts that were just typed, I don't think that they would have the same impact.
Yeah.
And this discussion should have been happening years ago because this game is not new.
No.
How do you know that it's coordinated? How do you know that it's planned
Exactly.
and there aren't
You
that it's not just some schizo homeless guy? Yep. There are plenty of them in that city that are walking around doing stuff like this. I highly doubt that it's a coordinated attack of any kind. But yeah, like, it's ironic that these women are all feminists and they probably all, advocate for gun control and everything like that. The irony doesn't entertain me anymore.
Do you think Bethenny Frankel will see justice? Will she actually get her criminal caught?
She didn't post any proof that she got punched, though.
Yeah, she just kind of jumped in on
chimed
the
in.
bandwagon. And
I
said,
don't know.
that happened
That's
to me
even
too.
that's even worse somehow.
Hey,
Yeah, no, it
me
is
too.
worse, actually.
She's like, I need some attention out of this.
Yeah.
That's way worse. She's like, oh man, well, I wasn't going to post about this when it didn't help me, but now that it's a topic of discussion, I suppose I can bring it up. That's way worse.
The worst part about this, though, is that if it wasn't coordinated, and now that they're doing these videos and it's getting the attention, and the knockout game is a real thing, now it is going to be a real thing.
It's going to be the real deal.
Yeah, now it's going to be the real deal. Yeah.
What if they were all just running into like light poles?
Well, yeah, we don't know. I mean, yeah. Would you want to go to the ER and say, I was looking at my phone?
I think he ran away.
And
they don't want to admit it. They don't want to admit it. Yeah. Also, like, New York is like the most surveilled place in the world. There's no videos of this stuff happening.
Well, like that was the thing when it happened to Rick Moranis.
There was
like there was a video. Yep. Like it was like bank cameras or cameras from the light poles. I mean, if they're all on the sidewalk, there should be some video. I would assume. Like.
They won't show anyone.
No.
They won't show anyone. It'll just go it'll go unaddressed.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.